Starting the stream. So hello everyone. Welcome to Eat My Chart. I'm with Pierre. We have some viewers as well. Special shout out to one of my friends, Alex. I don't know if he's going to be able to join, but anyway, I was speaking to him earlier. And today we're going to be covering Bitcoin. Why today? Because as you can see on my screen, we've been moving up for a while now, and we have this uptrend that we've been trading. And today, in my opinion, we've been hitting like pretty much key levels, and we traded it very well with Pierre. And so we wanted to go through all this price action. Okay. So, as a general, context, we've been ranging inside of this range that I'm showing you on my screen. We've been ranging for quite a while now. You see this range right there? Yeah. This was done since the 7th of November. So since the 7th of November last year, we've been basically ranging inside. Okay. And before that, we had an even longer range that started on the 6th of June last year, right there. I'm gonna put it in a different color. Let's put it in this color without the background. Okay. So two different ranges. Okay, this range was pretty much very well respected, and then what happened is that we dropped in November towards where this range, and at this time I remember with Pierre we were saying, okay, you know what we're envisaging here is that we're not going to be dropping until there's no end. We're going to be starting ranging, and this is exactly what happened. We started ranging here, and now finally, after after almost 2 months and a half, we're finally maybe leaving this range to the upside. Okay, so in this sorry, my bad. In this context, what you want to do is you want to pull some fixed range pulls basically to see the volume levels. Okay, because the volume levels are going to encapsulate the price. So I'm going to show you the volume levels of this area right there. So the red square. Okay, you can see we're far away now from this value area high, and this level at this time was actually one of those key levels that we were talking about, saying, okay, should we hit this level if there is a good reaction? And we had a small reaction. We had one, to be honest. If there's a reaction here and the market structure starts to change, we could envision some kind of a reversal here where you would be actually still range bound. Okay, that was the idea at the time. We knew, of course, that we had this uptrend. You see those higher lows, you see those higher highs. We knew that this was happening at the time, but we also knew that the bigger picture is we're inside of this whole range. Okay, this, as you can see, the value area low is a key level. Every time you hit it, you have a pretty decent reaction, and the value area high is also a pretty decent level. Every time you hit it, you have a nice reaction. So it's very logical to think that once you're going to get to this level, you're going to have some kind of a pullback. And we had a pullback. Okay, let's zoom in just to show you the level of pullback that we had. Let's go maybe on the 1 hour. Okay, so once we hit it, look at that. It's pretty cool because those levels, they're so easy to mark out. You had a 1.3%, almost 1.27% retracement out of this. Okay, and what's also very nice is that you had a retracement, so you could have shorted this thing right there. Okay, so that was on Monday. You could have shorted here, take profit at the lows here, because as you can see, what we did after all is basically we put in a range right there. Okay, and what you could have done at this time, and what personally I did, I took a short from this area, is that you actually short the loss of the value area high. Okay, you acknowledge that you're in an uptrend. You also know that you're in a range. So the idea is try to keep this trade as long as possible. And what you could be doing is just see that, okay, those are the current lows. You see this red candle right there? Those are lows at the time. Let's call them lows, not previous day lows. Okay, low of the range. And what you could say to yourself is, okay, I'm gonna short this right there. I'm gonna take profit in this area, because should we start losing those lows, we could start actually to think that there might be a market structure change, So you would take your trade from here, you take profit. So either you wait for this level to be taken, or you can actually take profits at the point of control. Okay, but the idea is to take profits. Why? Because until proven otherwise, we're in an uptrend and you are shorting an uptrend. And shorting, like trading, counter trading a trend is very, very, very tricky, because until the trend shows you that it's over, you're actually hoping that you guess the top or the bottom if you're actually longing a bearish downtrend. Here in this case, we're shorting an uptrend, okay? And as you can see, so far, every shorts, we're losing shorts. If you had shorted here, if you don't take profits, you get stopped out. You short again here, you don't take profits, you get stopped out. Same thing here, you go back up. So actually shorting this was a bit tricky, especially if you don't take profits. So that was for me the first interesting setup. And look what happens next. I mean, we know that this is an area of resistance. What happens next? We break this area. So we have another here resistance type of move, okay? You break the level and then you go back. What do you do once you break it? It becomes a support. You have a perfect example of a resistance, broken through. You spend some time above it. Once you test it again, it becomes a support. And then you skyrocket, okay? And that's very, very interesting, because at the time, with Pierre, we were actually arguing that, okay, it's true that we are at resistance. It's true that all this area right there is a resistance, and you could imagine a drop. But, oh my God, I thought that was a drop. That's actually the square. I thought that was a drop. Okay, let me remove that. So at this moment in time, you could think to yourself, okay, there is a potential for us to drop from here and start dropping. But until the market proves you that this is where it's going, you have to trade the trend, okay? So once you break above the value area here, the value area high, you have to think to yourself, okay, the market is basically showing me it wants to go higher. Towards where? Where you have multiple levels. The first level, the first one that you want to pull out when you see this is the Fibonacci level, okay? So you have the 618 right there. You have another level that's interesting, which is the daily level. So I'm just going to start popping the levels one after the other, okay? See all the support that we've been creating to the downside. I'm going to remove this because it's not really important for now. What I want to see is the levels that we have to the upside, okay? Same thing here. Let's remove this. Okay. So at this moment in time, what you're seeing is that you have this value area high, we're breaking above it, and we're still in an uptrend. What do you do when you're in an uptrend? You want to ride the trend. You want to be with the trend. So what's the idea? The idea is actually to be thinking, okay, where can I take a long to be able to ride those winners, okay? And look at this. This was actually perfect. The 0.5 retracement of this low here, the low of this range, and the high that we put once we broke in the value area high, once we dropped over here, we tried to get acceptance in this range, and we got the perfect bounce of the 0.5. And what happens next? This becomes low, and then you skyrocket to the highs. Where to? The next level of resistance, the 618. Now you could think to yourself, oh, but we blasted through it. We actually did, but you can see that there was some kind of a friction right there, okay? All this, you blast, and then you arrive here, and there is some kind of a friction in this level before finally resuming the uptrend. Now this was also helped a lot by the ES, which is the futures of the stock market, of the S&P 500, okay? So at this moment in time here as well, you're thinking this is a resistance, but we're not rejecting properly from it. We're not changing any kind of market structure. We did not see anything telling us we're hitting a resistance, we're taking the lows and maybe making a lower high, and then you start to think, okay, this can go lower. No, we did not. The only thing we've been doing actually basically is just creating higher lows, and then later on higher lows. So at this moment in time, you can think to yourself it's a resistance, but you also have to think to yourself the market structure is completely intact and we can still go higher, okay? And basically, this is what we saw, okay? This is what we saw. It's that the price arrived at this 618. Sorry, my bad, I removed it. Yeah, the price arrived at the 618. Let me zoom in maybe on the 15 minutes. It was clearly a resistance, but the resistance was not enough to keep the price from rising, okay? So you had multiple wicks above it, and then you break in a very clean way above this resistance. Towards where? Well, the next area, which is also interesting, I'm going to show you why. Because you had actually, since this range, we had a channel, a descending channel that we had on our charts for quite a while now. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So it's part of this setup, okay? And I'm just going to remove all, oh, sorry, my bad. That's the channel I'm talking about, okay? So how do you draw channels? So basically, what you need to remember is that since the 69K, we're in a downtrend, okay? And what happened is that in June 2022, we started ranging in this area. We put this major high right there, which is a very important pivot. After that, we dropped toward this area. We put an important low, and then we rise, we drop again. So this is still inside of the June range. And before the bigger drop, we put this other very important high. So here we acknowledged with Pierre at the time that you have a very interesting channel that is very well respected. Look at that. You just take this high here. I'm going to do it again for you, just so you understand. So the channel tool is right there. You take one pivot here, you take it towards there, and look at that. This channel, at this moment in time, you could actually predict the perfect target of this drop, okay? So this channel is very well respected. Also, another thing you like to see in channels is the midline, because the midline in those channels usually is a take profit area. On higher time frame, you can even use the midline of a channel to take trades, to enter trades, shorts or longs, depending on which side of the middle channel you are. And you can see that it's very well respected as well. Right there, like really to the dollar. It's like you hit it perfectly. Look at that. You see this? You're talking about maybe a few dollars of difference between, but I mean, this is completely, this is very, very well respected, okay? Here as well, you had a respect. Here you go above it, you back test it towards where this pivot, this is normal. This is the most amazing reaction where you actually hit the lows. Then you start rising again, you hit the middle of the channel, reaction, you go above it, back test it, above, again, support, and then towards where, well, now we were expecting at this time that this could actually be an important resistance. Why? Because you had two confluences here. You had this high, this major high right there, okay, plus the top of the channel that were actually arriving at the same time. So logically, when you arrive there, when you arrive at this level, and look at what happened, it's pretty crazy. When you hit this area right there, can you see it? When you hit this area right there, you expect a pullback. Why? Because you're taking the liquidity here, you're hitting the highs of this very high time frame channel that's perfectly respected, and look at that. You had a rejection, a pretty big rejection if you ask me. You had a 1.7 rejection, and then what happened next? You drop, you put in a higher low, you rise up again. Why do you rise up here? To take the liquidity above. This is a very, very famous pattern in Bitcoin. And then you drop, and this is where the big drop arrives, okay? And I want to tell you that with Pierre today, we traded this in a very, very, very cool way, okay? Let me just show you a bit what are the levels that we had. So basically, this was the price action today. Let's forget about this rise. Let's forget actually about all of this. Let's imagine, okay, that we're here. Okay, this was this morning at 7 a.m. Paris time. Okay, so you're in the uptrend. You hit this level, you have this rejection. Okay, this for me is a short opportunity. I did not take it personally for one reason, and the only reason is that every short that we that you could have taken inside of this uptrend did not end up in a winning trade. Okay, so you want more confirmation that this might actually end up in a winning trade. Okay, so at this moment in time, what you can do is understand that there is this local consolidation area, and so you just take your fixed range pool and you just draw this. Okay, let's move a bit to see what happened next during the day. Okay, so here you're forming some kind of a low right there. Okay, let's keep it on. So do you see how the price, how it works basically, how price action works is that you have those impulsive moves, okay? Very impulsive moves, very fast. You're creating almost no support in those areas. And then once the price arrives to this key area of resistance, which is the high of this channel that was created months ago, you start consolidating below it, okay? Consolidation below a resistance is usually seen as a bullish sign. Now, not always. Sometimes it can be a reversal. Sometimes you can see like some kind of an SFP. You take the highs and then you drop, okay? Let's keep on going and see what happens next. Okay, look at those levels. Look at the respect of those levels. This is the daily open, okay? So this is where we opened the day. We started here. So we're ranging above the daily open, okay? You hit the channel. Look at the respect of this channel. It's crazy. It's really crazy. You have here the respect of this channel again to the dollar, like really to the dollar. So had you taken this short, you'd be winning. Had you taken this other trade right there, you'd also be winning. So this channel is a really golden channel, okay? What happens? You drop here, okay? At this moment in time with Pierre, once we saw the drop, what we did was basically, I remember what happened. It was during the CPI release, okay? So today, you had a very important fundamental type of event. You had the CPI numbers that came out, okay? So this is from the US, of course, and this is, so why do we like to monitor those things? Because we know that there is an injection of volatility when those events are hit in terms of a timeline, okay? And it really did not miss this time. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. So you see this right there on my screen? I think you do, yeah. CPI at 2:30 today, 2:30 p.m. Paris local time. I'm just going to show you what happened at 2:30, okay? So I'm going to show you the volume at this time. It's really crazy. It's really crazy to see that. So right there, you're at, look at the level of the volume inside of this range. There's nothing. The volume is dead, okay? You're just ranging with very low volume. Here, it's 225. Volume starts picking up. At exactly 2:30, the volume, there's a spike in volume. At this moment in time, this spike in volume, what does it do? It takes out the previous highs right there. And immediately after, it goes under this channel again, showing you that it was just a liquidity grab. So here you had another opportunity, okay? But I remember that at this time, I personally, I don't remember if I entered here or if I waited a bit longer. Let me just try to see that. Yeah, no, we entered at this level here. Okay, so we took a short right there. Once we saw that we were dropping again, we took a short exactly at 275. I remember that. Okay, because we noticed with Pierre, we saw that, okay, at this moment in time, price is showing us that there is some kind of a swing failure pattern that's happening, and that usually you want to take advantage of those moves. Okay, so now I see what happened. So then you drop again, and then you go back, and I'm going to show you something very, very cool. Show you precisely where we entered. So that's what happened today. Okay. Do you see the level? Do you see the level of respect that those levels have? The same way that here you took the highs, here you took the lows, took those lows, and then you rise again. Towards where? The channel. You drop again. Towards where? The daily open. You take the liquidity. You rise again. Okay, at this moment in time, Okay, so I'm going to show you just to take you through all the trades that we took with Pierre. Okay, so once you see this extreme volatility, this big wick to the high side and this big wick to the downside, you think to yourself, okay, all the liquidity that was above this level and below this level, okay, was taken out. So now, after this, you go back into the range and you think to yourself, what's the most probable outcome, probable trade, okay? And at this moment, what you can do is just take your Fibonacci tool from here to what's there and look at this magic, okay? Where does it hit? The retracement, the 618, 66% retracement, goes directly on the channel, this big channel that is very well respected, okay? And not only you had this, you also had on the order flow. So the order flow, I'm not going to go through it tonight, but the order flow basically shows you in real time the orders, the market orders that they are. So you can dig in pretty deeper inside of this. So this is the software that we're using. It's called ExoCharts, okay? And I'm going to show you just very quickly what I'm talking about. Not going to dig in, but I just want to show you that, okay, you can use those tools to have an edge on the market. So where did this happen? Let me just see, because here we took a short. So it was not here, it wasn't at 230. I was confused. It's here that we took a short. Because why? Because you took the liquidity above, you took the liquidity below. You see a rise still inside of this range towards where this logical resistance area that is the channel high, now the 618, the local 618, plus you had a bearish signal. So where was it? At 3 today. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Okay, and what I'm going to show you here is something that is very it's quite advanced. Okay, it's not something that you see everywhere. It's basically showing here, you see this yellow line right there, it's showing the buying pressure. So when it's going up, it means people are buying, and when it goes down, it means people are selling. What you can see is that here, that was the big wick. You see this wick right there? We're talking about this one right there. At this moment in time, once we arrived here, this was the level of buying pressure. You see it right there? Okay. And then once we dropped and then we started rising again, where is the level of buying pressure? It's here. However, the price is lower than there. And this is what you call a bearish divergence. Okay, it's not like the RSI, it's not like all those very general tools. It's something way more I would say advanced that not everybody is using, and this is why you have an edge on other people, is because it's not a very famous tool, okay, but so accurate, especially on the low time frame, so accurate. So this is showing you that on the more if you had to explain it plainly what's happening, that people are buying, and the price, so you have a strong buying pressure and the price can't even make a higher high. Why does that happen? This happens because basically you have somebody with a lot of money that has a limit here, a limit selling order that is absorbing all the buying market orders. And this is the guy you want to trade with. You don't want to try to trade with the small fish that are buying into his limit selling order. You want to trade with him. Once you notice that this guy has a limit order in this area, you understand, okay, I have a bearish divergence signal here. So this is a trigger for me to think we might go down. You add to this the fact that you're at the 618, the golden pocket. You're at the top of the channel, okay? And you're above the value area high. And you took the liquidity once before above and below for those lows. You can start entering a short. And this is what we did. We entered a short almost at the exact top of this move. You put your stop loss above here, okay? It's a 1.2%. And you take it where? To the lows, right there, to the previous lows. And what happens right after that? You drop. Towards where? So you hit your take profit around here. And what happens next? You take the lows. You never confirm on the 1 minute. You never confirm below the daily open. And you start reclaiming the levels, okay? And at this moment in time, it's very, very important that you understand the context. What is the context? What is happening? We are going up. We are in an uptrend. And an uptrend that is totally intact since the 30th of December or even before. Yeah. You could say that since here, let's take it from here, okay? Since the 30th of December, so since the beginning of the year, basically, we've been in an uptrend, and this uptrend has never been broken through. You've been making higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. You see those highs, highs, highs. Again, a higher high here, and then another higher high here, okay? And the same time, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. This is showing, I mean, at this time, if you don't understand that this is an uptrend, I don't know what signals you need more than that, okay? So, you know that you are in an uptrend. And what you're doing here is that you're taking a short. Now, why in hell would this be the exact top of the move? Can you predict moves? Can you did you have like a magical sphere where you can actually predict the future? No, you don't. So logically, if you're taking a short in a strong uptrend, you have to take profits at the previous low at least, because you know that the market structure is against you. So you need to take profits. Honestly, you could have taken profits before. You could have taken profits at this value area low. But we took profits here because we acknowledged that it was a strong move, lots of volatility at this moment in time, and we could drop a bit faster. Also, we had in mind the possibility of maybe retracing a bit lower towards the daily level, or maybe even towards this lower area of consolidation. Okay, why? Because you had another thing that is a bit advanced, but maybe some people know about it. It's called a potential previous day value area setup. It's the 80% trade setup. Maybe you've heard about it. Basically, it says that once you're open, so the daily open is above the previous day value area. This is the previous day value area. We opened here. That there is this possibility, should we lose the daily open and should we start gaining acceptance in the value area of last day, that you could actually drop towards the lows of the value area of last day. So today you had this setup in mind, okay? You have to think about it, and you have to think about it as a possibility. So once you have all this in mind, you think to yourself, okay, I'm in a short, I'm in a very nice short here, I'm going to take profits here, but I'm thinking to myself, maybe this can go lower, okay? Now, of course, what happened is that we never revisited the daily open. This was actually the low of the day. And I know for a fact that Pierre, when he saw that there was here a swing failure pattern, he opened along a bit higher at 93, I think, or something like that. And me, myself, I was a bit more conservative at this point. And what I did is I opened along once we reclaimed this value area high. So I opened along here, put my stop loss here, okay, 1% stop loss. And my idea was that the uptrend is not invalidated. We've put in a low. The market structure locally is changing, okay? Low, high, higher low, and then probably you're going to make a higher high because you're in uptrend. So at this moment in time, when I saw that we reclaimed, you see this dotted line right there, which was support, you reclaim it. For me, this is a bullish sign, so I entered along here. Pierre entered a bit lower in this area, okay, at the previous day high, more or less. And where do you want to take it? You want to take it at least to the previous high. And this is what we did. We took it to the previous high, and just look what happened next. When you're trading with the trend, this is what happened. We exploded to the high side. So personally, I took a bit of profits here, but I'm still in my long. And now the long, look at that. Just from this scalp long right there. No, it was here, my bad, sorry. Just that this changed now. So I'm just going to put it back how it was. So before this, yeah, that was my entry. So this scalp long, where you're just hoping to take profits at the previous highs, look at where it took me. 5% trade. That was so well traded because we took a short from here towards the exact low we took profits. And then once we see that there is a reclaim, a change in the market structure, reclaim of resistance into support, you enter back along to be trading with the trend. You want to keep your shorts short, and you want to keep your longs longer in an uptrend. It's funny to say it that way, but this is how you want to trade it. You want to trade with the trend. So right now, I am in this long. I'm still in this long, and then see what happens next. We're ranging. Okay. You see how we're just making higher high lows, higher highs. Every person that is trying to short this, trying to find the exact top, is losing money, unless they have amazing entries and they take profits pretty fast. Okay. So yeah, basically we're in uptrend. You want to trade with the trend. When you see retracements like this, when you see golden opportunities like this one or this one, you have to take them because the invalidation is very close. Pierre, for example, he took it from here. Okay, invalidation is 0.5% for a potential win of, look at that, it's a 5% trade, even more now. We went over to this place, so it's a 6% trade for 0.4% risk. It's amazing. It's an amazing trade. So yeah, we wanted to take you through this price action because I think it's very educational, very important to understand the context where you're in, to not want to short all the time because you're thinking to yourself, it's going to go down, it's going to go down. No. If the market is showing you weakness, you start thinking about shorting and keeping this short longer. If the market is not showing you that you're breaking the market structure and that you're actually seeing some kind of a weakness, why would you want to short? It's actually quite the opposite. You want to trade with the market. Okay. So yeah, that was very, very cool to see. As you can see now, we blasted through the levels. Okay. We're above the channel. So this is a very bullish sign, at least for me. We arrived here in this area. So now we're consolidating, but still making higher lows. It's crazy. We're not even taking the previous lows, even on the lower time frame. So there is really no reason to short yet. And we're going to show you something that honestly also is it's a golden trade in my opinion. It's the next trade that we're looking for with Pierre. It's a short, okay? It is a short. It's weird. I've been telling you not to short in an uptrend, but it is a short. I'm going to tell you why this trade is important. Oh, we actually started hitting this level, okay? This is the trade we're talking about. So we'll go deeper into this in our Discord community. And I think we covered this trade maybe 3 weeks ago, Pierre, or something like that. And what's really, really, really important about this trade is that you have multiple factors. Okay, so I'm going to remove this channel for now because this is not helping us. Here is the channel. I remove it. Okay. So here, what's interesting is that basically the point of control since June, look at this, since June 2022, the point of control is in this area at 19,200, between 19,150 and 19,200. And you have another big, so this is a very high time frame level. And you have the 618 retracement since this high to this. So basically the drop, the latest drop that we had, okay, we've never visited the golden pocket yet. And this is the first time we actually touched this level. We touched it actually when I was talking about the price action, right? Let me go maybe on the 1 hour to see. Yeah, we just touched the level. And look at this, there is already a reaction, okay? And the idea is that, or at least for me, it's that if we claim this level, there is, in my opinion, almost no resistance above us, right? You can see how we dropped super fast. Well, we can go as fast to the upside because we did not build any kind of resistance while we were dropping. And so should we claim this, go above it, back test this level as a support and start going back up, for me, this can shoot very fast toward the next area of resistance, which is this high right there, okay? And so knowing this and knowing that other traders are looking at this, if I had a bearish bias, this is my last line of defense. It's this area right there. If I break this area, if I start reclaiming this area as support and going back up, this means you're potentially in, and I'm not kidding you, you're potentially in for a 10% rise. So this is the line in the sand, okay? Plus you have other things. You have a Fibonacci speed fan. You have you're above the value area low of the previous range. You're retesting the point of control of an older range. So if you had to reject, it's actually at this level, because it would show that you don't get acceptance in the level. You have so many technical things that are telling you this is a high time frame resistance. So this is the next trade setup that we have in mind. And now I'm just hoping for a bit of more clarity. Now, should we drop from now? I would completely understand it. But seeing how strong the uptrend is, I'm actually hoping for some kind of a move like this above it and then drop. Where here you would put some highs, you take those highs, you hit all the interesting levels, and then you drop. Okay? And you can either enter your short here, enter your short here, or even if you were fast enough, you could have entered the short when I started the stream. Okay? Should you have in mind that this is a resistance area. But yeah, for us, the next target, the next move to play here is actually a short, because of the importance of this high time frame short. Okay, this high time frame level. If we reclaim this, very bullish. And the next level that you want to break is this one. Breaking this level would be, in my opinion, pretty huge, because it means that all this was a deviation from this bigger range. And when you re-enter a previous range after a deviation, it's a very bullish sign. So you can at least expect us to go and challenge those highs. Okay? And so should you gain acceptance above it, that's actually even higher. That's even a 16% potential to the upside. Okay? So yeah, that's what we wanted to share with you tonight. Cover basically the price action that we had, why we bounced from these levels, which trades we took with Pierre. Today we made 0 losses, only winning trades, and we're still in our winning trades. We closed the short, of course. We kept the long because the long is trading with the trend. And look how crazy it is. It's just keeping us like afloat. It's giving us so much. I personally had a trade. I had a long since 7.3, so right there. I closed that long because probably I have a limit that has been hit now during the stream. So I closed that long at this area of resistance, because now what I'm looking for is potentially a short or a compound long if we should have like some kind of retracement. Okay. So if you want to have more information of what's a compound, what kind of retracement we're expecting, or more or less just what's happening during the day and not wait for the end of the day to have some kind of a recap. If you want to know all this, join our Discord. We talk about it every day with Pierre. We post all the ideas that we have. We explain why we bounce from those levels. I think it's very educational. I think you could learn a thing or two. And even if you're an experienced trader, it could help us confront to our ideas, and maybe we see things you don't see. Or even the other way around. Maybe you can show us things that we're not seeing. But honestly, so far, we're trading this pretty well. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Pierre, I don't know if you can speak or not. Are you still here?
I can a bit.
You can speak a bit? Okay. So yeah, what's your opinion? Like if you had to summarize maybe in a few minutes, what's your opinion on today's price
you've
action?
covered it pretty well. The thing is, where we are right now, we should expect a reaction.
A pullback.
But the feed fan pool is different now because we've changed the lows.
Show me the speed fan.
Yeah, the speed fan. Oh yeah, that's the correct low.
Yeah, that's the correct low.
So you could expect for this to be touched,
exactly.
at least.
Exactly.
And now we have a good rejection right now.
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, we didn't take the trade. I mean, I didn't take the trade because I was talking to you. But look at this.
Didn't.
You didn't take it either?
No, no, no.
But look at this. Look at this reaction. And we had this marked for so many time, so much time. And look at this drop. It's a 2% drop already.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Once you know what you're doing, it's crazy. Those levels are so well respected. It's really something.
It has been front run a bit,
It has
so
been
we
front
will
run,
need to see.
but keep in
Yeah,
mind something. This is an area, okay? This point of control, the 6 month point of control is an area. It's not an exact line,
yeah.
okay? So for me,
We would see if we lose the value area low.
yeah,
If we lose this level, that means more downside is possible.
you're talking about $10, a $10 shift, huh? A $10 difference.
Yeah,
So
but either the 618 or the point of control hasn't been touched, so that's why I'm a bit skeptical. But once we lose the value area low, I could revise
so
my bias.
what you're saying basically is, should we lose this level right there,
Yep,
you would expect a drop, right? Yeah, it's
it could. Yeah,
I kind of agree with you. Now maybe we can actually let's do it live. Why not?
it can play around the level a little bit.
So let's see
It
what's
doesn't
happening.
bother me, but
Let's see what's happening. We don't have any bullish divergences so far. Do we have a
no.
bearish divergence? We don't really. We're just making higher. And see, we're going down. Yeah, actually, you know why we're going down? People are taking profits. Those are not people opening shorts. Here, those 5.8 million people that you saw selling, this 5.8 million drop, it's a decrease in open interest. It's people taking profits. So yeah, we have to wait to have a bit more of clarity here.
So now we are back in the upper range. So let's see how things
Actually,
goes.
yeah, I think we're making bullish divergences as we speak. Look at that. We should be at this level in terms of lows, and we're higher. Okay, let's follow this. Okay, let's follow this. So far, the rejection is pretty amazing. The rejection of this. So Pierre is saying that it was front run. For me, I would kind this as tap because it's a very high time frame level. Talking about 6 months, even more than 6 months. So $10, a $10 difference on a 6 month trade, 6 month old trade is really nothing for me. So personally, I see it as touched. Now the question is, seeing how strong this uptrend is, are we gonna have just one touch, or are we gonna have a better setup, which would take out everybody that front run this level of $10 and took shorts, and then drop below it, and then you have an entry, okay? Or are we just gonna drop from here and maybe gather some strength on another local support, which could happen? Should we envision this? So you have this lever right there. We're doing this live with you guys. I don't really like this level. There's nothing to it. There's nothing. There's nothing. So I would not even compound at this level, to be honest. Yeah, I would not even compound at this level. The only place where I would be interested maybe in longing is if we take like all those lows here. Maybe I would compound my long, but keeping in mind that we're rejecting from this high time frame area. Okay, if you took the short from here, if you were in our community and you would be already in a 2% trade. Just to tell you, this was talked about. You can check it on our Discord. This trade setup was talked about. It was last year, and I don't know even if it was in November or December. I think it was even in November. We were so far away from here. But yeah, that's what happens when you're prepared, actually. When you envision all the kind of scenarios and you're just waiting for the best trade to happen. And right now we are seeing a rejection from this key level I was talking to you about during the stream. We're seeing this rejection. Should we reclaim it? We can go so much higher. But should we reject from here? Should not be surprised if this ends up being a 5 or 6% rejection, because it's a big level and it's going to be defended as it is tonight. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you learned something, and if you did not, I hope you enjoyed still the explanations, and if you have any kind of questions, you can talk to us during the day. We're available on the Discord. You can post any kind of messages that you want. If you have, I don't know, you wonder how we do fixed range pools, you wonder how we use the Fibonacci tool, you wonder how we come up with all those trade setups, we're here to answer all those questions. So please feel free to ask them, and gladly we'll answer them. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you, Pierre, for joining. And yeah, trade safe, guys. See you.
Bye bye.